Of all the one-to-one calls that I've done about SP and manifestation, how to get rid of a third party is like the #1 issue people are facing. And even in my long-term programs, I've noticed that there is a lot of fear and worry surrounding third parties, as if this person somehow defies all the laws of manifestation and are an independent block that renders you powerless, which is why you find this person so triggering whenever you think about them or see them on social media or in person. And this is probably because in the YouTube community right now, no one that I have come across is explaining what is actually required of you to manifest, and that is why you don't know how to get rid of this third party situation, let alone how they became an issue in the first place. So in today's video, we're going to resolve this issue entirely, right? So you never have to deal with this third party situation ever again, and so you can get on with manifesting your SP correctly. But before we get into that, my name is Frances and I live and teach the journey of I Am, which is the biblical approach to becoming a conscious manifester, otherwise known as reaching Christ consciousness, taking reference from Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks, Bashar, and combining this with my studies in neuroscience and my background teaching my mastery. I promise you, I am not here to tell you just to believe or to recite an affirmation. As many of my past and present clients will tell you, I like to target the root cause of your issues because everyone has a different starting point, and it's my job to cater to their specific journey. And here in this channel, I share the how, the what, and the why we are doing something, because many of you are just starting your journey and need to have definitive answers just like I did. And I can appreciate from first-hand experience that this world of manifestation is very paradoxical in nature at times, which is why I lean heavily on my own experience of each level of consciousness in order to teach you this understanding as thoroughly as possible, because I want you to have everything that you desire. Hear this. A third party exists because you keep persisting in their existence. Straight to the point. What do I mean by this? Right now, you acknowledge that there is a third party situation in the 3D and you don't like it. In fact, you probably find it upsetting the longer you have thought of the situation, seen them in social media, or hear about them. And the longer that's continued is the longer you've started to attach all types of meaning to it, such as this person is why you aren't together, this person is why you aren't hearing from your SP, this person might be the reason why you never get back together, this person might be the one that gets married to them, this person might have a baby with them. In other words, you have this full-blown storyline that you're repeating over and over again, aiding the existence of this third-party situation, and that's why you're not getting back together, which you don't want. And all the time you're not visualizing for that half-an-hour period or 50-minute period or embodying the state of the desired end, that storyline is what you're manifesting. That is the vibration you're offering. But you see, we live in this kingdom on earth, otherwise known as the 3D, which is designed to teach us all the time that we are the operant power, that as within, so without, that we are reality, and out there in what you call the 3D is merely reflecting to us what we've chosen to experience within ourselves first. And so this third party situation is only persisting to be an issue and is only continuing to be a problem because you keep acknowledging it. And you do this by feeding that storyline within yourself and feeling those associated feelings, visualizing them breaking up, talking about this third party situation, worrying about how you're going to remove them, watching videos on how to get rid of them. All of this is fueling the fire, feeding the problem. And then you wonder why this is still an issue and why your visualizations aren't working. And this most commonly happens with those who are still in the egoic state of mind. Now, we've all been there. This is part of the journey, okay? Wherein the ego views this person as a problem to be solved and fixates on it to an obsessive level, which is why you can end up disabusing your own power and wishing ill in them. So, no wonder you feel stressed, fear-ridden, upset and heartbroken, because the words you speak, the thoughts you think dictate how you feel, which in turn influences the action and behaviours that you take. And so many of you, and I hear this all the time, then get to a place where you're wondering whether God really wants this for you, or you end up begging and pleading with him to make the situation go away. But I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I means you are an extension of God. There is divinity within you because Christ is in you. His will is your will already because you're not separated. So there's no one saying no to you. God always says yes, and he says yes to the state you are embodying. And he has already proven that he delivers because you have masterfully manifested this problem of third-party situation by continuing to acknowledge the existence of the problem you don't want to have. And here's how you've done that. If you look back over your relationship timeline, at some point you formed the conclusion, the belief, which creates all of our assumptions, that your ex would move on and be with someone else. Right? At some point that's happened. It could have been the result of a fear you had, or someone told you this was possible, or that you have a storyline going that you're always abandoned and left for someone else, or you believe this about people who are single. Whatever the root cause of why this third party exists, the facts are, in the 3D, your SP is with someone else, right? And if you're new to manifestation, and what I mean by this, if you have not built the foundational level understanding that you can manifest consistently, that you have this power achieved through practice without doubt, then it makes sense that you react negatively and feel powerless to change the situation, or cannot even see how you created or chose this in the first place, right? But give yourself grace. I felt this too back at the start of my journey whenever something negative happened. But this is just the illusion of the mind developed in our upbringing, and we've all been reared this way to place our faith in what we see out there versus faith to the power we hold within, right? As within, so without. Remember, one of the golden rules of manifestation is to set your minds on things above and not on earthly things. We learned that in scripture. Now, why is this a golden rule? Because you are reality in its entirety. The 3D is not a separate version of reality. It is a three-dimensional reflection of you. So to look out there for change, to look out there for evidence, to look out there for movement is a complete waste of your time, because out there cannot do anything unless you change within first. It's you change first, then it changes. Out there is a reflection of reality. You, not a separate independent reality. This is why in the moment you experience being with your SP within is the moment your SP is with you. Because that is where reality is. That is where it is chosen, created, and experienced. So if you would do this and continue to tell that story, the story of what you just experienced within your visualization, how happy you are together, the story of how wonderful it is, if you would no longer be activating and renewing the story of what you don't want about the separation and the third party situation, because what exists out there is only persisting because you keep telling that story of what you don't want and don't like, then you would have it. Neville Goddard speaks on this more thoroughly, which I shall break down, and he asks us this question: do you like what the mirror reflects back to you and your background tells you? If it is not what you would like to live with, don't accept it. Rather, look into the mirror of your mind and assume that you are what you would like to be. What does he mean by this? Start viewing yourself and treating yourself as the operant power that you are, your I am state that you have already proven yourself to be by creating this third party situation and separation in the first place. Declaring that you are it now, don't look away and forget the image reflected there, but persist in your assumption. The assumption he is referring to, which is one of the most misconstrued lines of all of Neville's work, means to feel your visualization until you believe it has happened. Because it is that belief which creates the assumption, which means to state something as a fact that's not contradicted by anything, not to be confused with an affirmation, and then live in that awareness, morning, noon, and night, as though it were true, and no power can stop you from experiencing its truth. So in order to get rid of what you don't want, this third-party situation, You've got to crucify that story and resurrect the new state, which you can do by combining visualization with telling a new story. And you persist in that until you embody it, which means to become the person who is already with their SP. And how do we know for sure that you being with your SP is an option? Because you would not desire what you do not already have in a different version of reality. And where are these different versions of reality to choose from? Within you. You choose which version of reality you prefer by experiencing it and living in that state within. And you don't need to ignore the 3D. That is just evidence of you're powerful. Wonderful, accept it all, but set your minds on things above and not on earthly things. Persist in the reality you prefer, which is in you, not out there. You want to see movement? Create the movement within yourself. The 3D cannot and will not change until you change first. And I know that that can sound frustrating, but really once you practice it, you get real good at it real fast. And when you've changed within and you have embodied that state, you won't need the 3D to be any different because you already have it. It contains your desire. Now you may be wondering, hold on, is this not the point of manifestation? Not to experience it in 3D? Popular question. So let me put it this way to you. If you are reality in its entirety, all of you are living the version of reality you prefer in thought, feeling, in action, in behavior, in visualization collectively, then why would out there need to be any different when you already have it? And that, my lumps, is the paradoxical nature of manifestation, which you shall come to understand as you progress on this journey. For now, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be given you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. John 15:8. Have faith in God's ability to say yes to your new embodied state of the end desire, just as you have placed your faith in Him, delivering the state you embodied of what you did not want. God bless you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you for all the likes, shares and subscribes, and for joining our private Facebook group. If you want help on this journey, my links are below where you can book one-to-one and programs with me. And here is what YouTube suggests you should watch next.